Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal team. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya on this Shawn and Maya. I'm so used to it. I'm still learning. Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. It's my birthday weekend. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and I am fired up. Today is my actual birthday. Man, am I fired up. 54 trips around the sun. Woo, Charlie. It's been tiring. Man. Woo-wee. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Sports Zone Chicago. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. Excellent. Now, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Man, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Man, we got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook or our YouTube channel, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, don't sing it, baby. Just bring it. Man, let's check out the chat, because the chat is jumping. Man, look, I'm fired up this morning. I'm fired up. Woo-wee. Back by popular demand. I'm in control. I got the upper hand. Black Diamond checking in early, says top of the morning to you. Go Cubs, go. No, not this weekend, Black Diamond. You know not this weekend. My White Sox are hot. 5-1 since the All-Star break. That's what we're talking about. Cautiously excited about Ben Johnson and this team. Hopefully, my gut feeling is right. FGB, you're damn right, baby. You see the new gear. Hey, this is going to be, I'll be selling this. This is the new T-shirt. One of the new T-shirts I have. All right. They're getting the Shopify store up. I was trying to get it ready for today, and for whatever reason they didn't know. I don't know how difficult it is or whatever. But anyway, it'll be up shortly, and this will be one of the shirts you can get on the Sports Zone Chicago swag shop. All right, FGB. What? FGB. Cornelius Squalls in the house. What up? ShawnSierraSports Zone's football is back, baby. It is back. Oh, and he forgot. FGB. My man, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. Happy birthday, Shawn. Thank you, Papa. Also, happy birthday to Junior. Today is his birthday as well. All right, we share the same birthday. We found out about that in 1997. as long as I've known him. 1997. Found out we were born on the same day, same date. He was born 25 years earlier than me. No, I'm kidding. He's 4 years older. Cornelius Gall says, also, I'm sick of these daily critiques of our quarterback already. Sheesh, people, it's only the first. I'm saying we're going to talk about that, Cornelius. We are going to talk about it. Definitely. Michonne Walls in the Mickey Figgy house and Mickey Figgy TGIF. A happy birthday, Superback. Thank you, Michonne. Appreciate you. Lavette Lee checking in. What's up, Mama? She says, happy birthday, Shawn. Thank you, hon. I appreciate it. You freaking rock. That's what I'm talking about. My man, Luis Mejia is checking in. Rise and grind, baby. Happy birthday, brother. Enjoy. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it. Hey, we gotta pick a date. I was talking to G Unit. We gotta pick a date. All right. Black Diamond says, happy birthday, bro. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it. Michelle Wallace says, Crosstown Civil War is on FGB. You know it, baby. I'm telling you. I thought of the idea. I'm like, man, people just love to wear this shirt. FGB. So I'll tell you, we're going to open. We have a swag shop. We'll get you a link in the next, probably next week. And this will be one of the shirts you can get on. This will be one of the shirts you can get on. Also, we got some other stuff. I got a tumbler. It's like a Yeti type deal. Keeps your drinks hot or cold, whatever you have. And we have some other cool stuff. Cool Sports Zone Chicago swag. So make sure you check that out. And believe me, I'll let you know when it's up. And here's the deal. Do me a big favor. Make sure you spread the word on the swag shop. All right. When we give you the link, make sure I would appreciate it personally if you just, put it on your page or something like that and just, hey, check out Sports Zone Chicago's swag shop. All right. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. My man Armando Emeterio Lara, the third, better known as Mondo. He's in the house. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And again, FGB. Where's my man Rick Gonzalez? Man, I was waiting for Rick, man. I know he'd get excited, he'd get fired up over this. He'd get fired up over this bad boy. But hey, listen, we got a great show for you, my man. At 10 o'clock, my man Ken Davis is going to join us. We are going to talk Bears football. A lot of Bears. The boys, you saw the thumbnail, right? You saw the thumbnail. The boys are back. They are back, and I'm telling you, we are fired up about it. Training camp 2025. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking. They're critiquing everything. Everything doesn't need to be critiqued. Everything doesn't need to be a federal case. Everything does not. Cornelius mentioned it earlier, and pretty soon we're gonna start getting. Caleb was 12 for 16 today for 150 yards in camp. Really, guys? Really? Let's stop that. All right, we need patience. Remember I told you, this is going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute. Now you're going to have live, well, not live, but it's going to be closer to live than anything. It's a brand new offense. They're going to make mistakes. A lot of people are freaking out about it. A lot of people are. I just hate the negativity around it. Like, they're going to struggle. They're learning a new offense. This is a brand new offense. They haven't run this offense before because this is Ben Johnson's offense. So you didn't run it in grammar school or in college or this coach. This is Ben Johnson's offense, and he wants it run a certain way. And it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute. See, that's why I would always tell people, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited about this season, but I can't wait till the 2026 season. Remember I would say that all the time? I can't wait till the 2026 season. My feet are here in 2025, and I'm going to watch the growth. But once they get it and they don't have to worry about learning a new offense, it's going to be better. Man, preach, Junior, preach. Said a lot of people don't understand the process of football. No, they don't. They think Ben's going to come back. Ben's going to come here and the offense is going to put up 35 points a game, 400 yards a game. It's not how it works. But Shawn, I agree. It is mostly media. It is. And this is one of the reasons why it bugs me so much. Why it bugs me so much. But it's not getting twisted. There's a lot of people that are going to be there at the games today, at practice today, or they're there now. All right, they're going to go and they're going to say, oh, Caleb did this. Oh, Caleb missed that. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that. Relax. Relax. This is the time where you want to make mistakes now, because then they're corrected. I want Caleb to make as many mistakes as possible right now in camp. As many as possible. Okay? It will work itself out. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Oh, man. We got a great show for you. It's at 10 o'clock. Ken Davis is going to join us. We got baseball to talk. The Crosstown Classic Southside Edition starts today over on the Southside. That's what I'm talking about. 6:40 first pitch. Parking lots open at 3:30. Yay. 3 hours of tailgating. Get lit before you go in the game. That's what I'm talking about. Scrubs and Sox fans. Tailgating. I don't know. Cub fans already don't know that word, tailgating. That's okay. It's fine. We'll show you how it's done. So we got baseball to talk. Got a little bit of sky to talk. Oh, my goodness. Whew. Ass whooping last night or what? That was not nice. Whew. They lost by 38 points. 38. Crazy. So we're going to talk a little Sky, and then we're going to talk a lot of Bears. We're going to continue this Bears talk. You're right. The media is driving this, and everybody's talking about Caleb's having trouble. Caleb do this. They didn't understand this. It's going to happen. When you started your new job, it took a while. If you change managers or protocols change, it took you a while. That's what's happening here. It's going to take a minute. Okay? It's going to. And we have to be understanding about that. And I understand we are low on patience when it comes to our Bears. Very low on patience. But it's something we need right now. Something we need. Nothing more, nothing less. It's something we need. Let's not get too crazy. All right, let's not get too crazy if he has a great day. Let's not get too crazy if he has a bad day. What we want to see is we want to see him stack. Stack good days on the offensive side of the ball. But let's not get it twisted. If the defense plays well, I'm not upset at that either. Don't think that they're just going to come and put a new offense and run up and down this defense. Man, people. I appreciate the love. I really do. I really do. But it's okay if this defense wins. Okay, it's all right. No, I don't want them destroying our offense. And that's how it's probably going to be your first week. They put on pads next week, Monday or Tuesday. Okay. Let's just relax. Let's take it easy, man. Take it easy. Wow. It's crazy. So we got a great show, and I'm fired up about it. I can't wait to talk to Ken Davis. I can't. And then we got to talk about some icons who passed away a couple of days that really hurt my soul. Two of them more so than any. Okay. And there was a lot of, and I'm going to talk about the vitriol that one of my icons when I was a kid is receiving from a lot of people. Okay? We're going to talk about that as well. Let's get it crack-a-lacking, baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see. See the first top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Man, there was only one game yesterday, and that was an ass whooping. Ooh-wee. Sky. Man, the Sky got destroyed by the Seattle Storm yesterday. 95-57. 38 points. All right. Angel Reese did not play yesterday. She was out injured. She was on the bench with her teammates. Hopefully she'll be ready for the next game. Camila Cardoso with a double-double, 13 points, 13 boards. Rachel Banham, 13 points in the loss. Elizabeth Williams contributed 11 points in the defeat. Okay, staying with the Sky, the next top of the morning topic. The Sky hosts Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever on Sunday at the United Center. Tip-off is at 2 p.m. Central, and you can catch that game on Channel 7 here in Chicago, ABC 7. Okay. I'm really hoping that Angel Reese plays. I also hope that Caitlin Clark plays. Caitlin Clark was hurt as well a little bit. She missed the All-Star game, if you remember. So it'd be a great thing if both of them played, because that's the reason that they're at the United Center instead of Wintrust Arena. I just hope that they're healthy and that they both play, because I would love to see those two teams match up. Junior said, did they get paid what they're owed? You know, that whole thing, that was a poorly thought out thing. That was poorly thought out. It seems like they're greedy, and I'm not. Remember, I'm pro player, but you also have to that it takes time to develop a league. All right, you've been losing money for years. So when you're losing money as a league, it's difficult to increase salaries. Okay, you just got a new TV deal. You just got it. Hasn't even kicked in yet. Let it kick in. All right, see how much more money the owners are making, and then you can kind of go after it. But when you're worse than a debt collector. All right, these are you have to look at the long play here. You can't just jump on. Oh, they said we need more money. We're not getting paid what we owe. Okay, but if you look at the business aspect of it, you should be happy that you're making what you're making. You don't bring the excitement. You don't bring in the revenue. End of story. Bottom line, no frills attached. Doesn't matter. White, black, woman. All right. How much revenue do you generate? End of story. How much revenue do you generate? That's going to determine the prices. How much revenue? That's your salaries. Do people want to watch? Because if they do, then you get TV deals. That's where your salaries come up. If you do, you get marketing deals. That's where your salaries go up. Come on now. You had a little bit of excitement because of Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese and a couple of other young stars in the league. And now you're like, give me $1 million. Come on, folks. Take the emotion out of it. Take the emotion out of it and use good business sense. Oh, my man, checking in. King Book of World. What's up, Baba? Salute everyone and Shawn. We back. Oh, we back. We are back, baby. My man, Lucky Lefty, Damani Pew's in the house. What's up, Damani? Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it. These will be the new shirts I have for sale in the Sports Zone Chicago sweat. We're going to get the link out. They're creating a Shopify store for me. You guys will be able to order these and get them. And the back of the neck, it has a Sports Zone Chicago logo. I'll show you one of the other shirts on the other side of the break. It's got the Sports Zone Chicago logo on the back of the neck. So, but the Chicago Sky team is having a rough go at it. All right, 20 turnovers yesterday. You're not going to win. You're not. Most teams will not win when you have 20 turnovers. Most teams will not win. And that's a shame. And that's the issue. Like this is basketball 101. Just can't turn the ball over. They started the second half, 3 straight turnovers, 3 straight layups for Seattle. To start the second half. The Sky had the ball to start the second half. 3 straight turnovers, 3 straight layups. It's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. So they've got to do a much better job of protecting the basketball. Okay, running their offense. There are times, and here's the funny thing. You see it. You see it in spurts, small spurts, but you see it. You see the good ball movement. You see the pick and rolls, the setting the screens, the movement without the ball, rolling to the basket. You see it, boop, boop, hit. Good passing. Easy buckets. And you're like, why can't you do that all the time? They get stagnant. And Courtney Vandersloot being out, that's huge. Being out for the year is huge. She was going to be the mentor to Haley Van Lith. Haley Van Lith's kind of got to figure it out on her own. She better figure it out quick because at 38-point loss at home, embarrassing. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we'll finish up with more top of the morning topics. So don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago, FGB.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so...
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
To 63 in their last game. This starts 3 straight road games for Seattle. They turn it over on the second possession. Here's Rebecca Allen over to Elizabeth Williams. No problem. Ties it at 2. Pump fake. Haley Van Lith. Rookie and rookie.
Ball games for this guy.
Well, Seattle has led the entire way. And here's a look at the newest pickup, Cardoso with the putback. Into that lead and then breaking it open, especially in the second half. Rachel Banham with 6 on the shot clock knocks it down, and Banham has her second three-pointer of the night.
Doesn't see much action in the paint. About 64% of her field goal attempts are threes.
Rachel Banham, another bucket.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the U. Those were the girls last night. Man, they got run out of the gym, losing by 38 points. And yes, for those of you who are asking, yes, this shirt will be available in Sports Zone Chicago swag shop. Make sure you pick it up before the season. Swag shop we'll get the link next week. They're trying to get it done, and they couldn't get it done. The guy who was doing it had to go to a convention, and he didn't get a chance. But we're going to get it set up probably sometime next week. And this shirt, among others, will be available. Oh, I didn't grab the other shirt. Son of a biscuit. I'll make sure I grab it. I had to get the boarding off to CrossFit. But anyway, let's see. Let's check it out. Anyone else checking in? King Booker World said, "Oh, happy birthday, fam! How does 26 feel?" Shit, I don't know. I don't remember that far back. And that's 28 years ago, bro. Yeah, Sky don't have a true point guard. They don't, and that's a big issue. That's a big issue. All right, and that's gonna get them. That's gonna get them. Roberto Ramirez checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? He said, "Happy Friday, amigos." King Book of Worlds is mad. Said, y'all see that Marquez Tricks have the nerve to release a new jersey that looks just like the Bears one. So they're going back. The Packers are going back to, I forgot what year, but they're having a throwback jersey, and they're going to have the helmet. Notre Dame had the helmet painted, so it looks like one of the old leather throwbacks. Yeah. Minnesota too, Cornelius? Okay. All right. Roberto Ramirez says, happy birthday, Cabron. Thanks, Papa. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Let's get back to kicking it, man. Top of the morning. Let's go to the next top of the morning topic. I don't know if I mentioned it. The Sky hosts Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever Sunday at the United Center. I think I did mention it. Tip-off is at 2 p.m. Central. You can watch that game on ABC 7. Just a reminder. And hopefully Caitlin Clark is back and Angel Reese. That's the only reason that they're at the United Center, because that rivalry, and it's sold out. So the next top of the morning topic, Crosstown Classic, baby. Southside edition starts tonight at the Rate Field over on the south side. Southside, 35th and Shields. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or they're having it on the U. It's being simulcast on the U via Chicago Sports Network, or listen to it on the White Sox flagship station, AM 1000. That's ESPN 1000 AM. Or if you're a Cub fan, you want to listen to your call, you can watch it on the Marquee Network or listen to it on 670 AM. If you're a Cub fan. The probables for tonight's game. Shota Imanaga is on the bump for the Northsiders. He's 7-3. What? Probably a mistake. He's 7-3 with a 2.40 ERA. Adrian Hauser on the bump for the Southsiders. He's 5-2 with a 1.89 ERA. 3-game set. Cubs really need it. Sox want to continue to do this. Let me take a quick break. I got to double check something. First day back in a car. It'll be a quick break. We'll be right about a minute. All right. Right back. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Yeah, quick fast. Sorry, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. She hit for some reason, she called the emergency services. She hit the wrong button or whatever. And I got a notice. The police got a notice. I said, like, are you okay? First day back, taking a car. I don't drive you and all this. And she said, no, I made a mistake. I don't know how I did it. All right. All right, I got to go. So anyway, she's good and we're all good. So we're back. you know, it's a good weekend series. The White Sox, one of the hottest teams in baseball after the break, 5-1. Okay, they are. I'm telling you, they are a team I enjoy watching big time. They are an exciting team. Excuse me. These youngsters just, I don't even know how to put it. 49 runs, second in slugging percentage, sixth in average, and 9 home runs since the All-Star game. Since the All-Star game. And I get it, it's 6 games. Okay? It's only 6 games. But I'll tell you what, these boys are fun to watch. They are fun to watch. Shawn says, these young players from the Sox have some swagger. They do. But you know what? It's not an arrogant swagger. It's a confident swagger. Now, mind you, they're not the most talented team on the field. But we know where their confidence comes from. And this is what I love. Their confidence comes from they know they are fundamentally sound for the most part. They are fundamentally sound, and they can beat you in a lot of different ways. They can beat you with the long ball. Okay? Colson Montgomery just hit his first home run the other day. Kyle Teel just hit his first homer last week. These youngsters, Miguel Vargas, Josh Rojas, these youngsters are really, really, really fundamentally sound, and they fear no one. And that's the sign of a good manager, of a good coach. Look at this. What I just say, Shawn, and also the manager is a difference. Yes, he is. I agree with you, King Booker World. They don't know they ain't supposed to be doing this. Yeah, they're too dumb to realize that they shouldn't be winning like this. They're playing good, solid baseball. They're getting good pitching. They're getting good relief pitching. They're fun to watch. They are fun to watch. And the Cubs, on the other hand, man, the Cubs they've been in first place since April. Damn it, Milwaukee has been right there behind them. They got an 11, 12-game winning streak right now. They just lost the other day. And they were hanging around. Thank goodness that the Cubs were playing so well because Milwaukee's on a heater. After this 3-game set with the Sox, the Cubs take on the Brewers. But Shawn, I agree with you. Sox will win more than 41 games this year. I agree. You keep sweeping some series, boy. Yeah. Let's see what the White Sox right now have 37 wins. Black Diamond says, don't worry, we're going to smack y'all back into reality. That's why they play the games, baby. That's why they play the games. Hey, don't come out mad next week, Black Diamond, when we take 2 out of 3, or God forbid. Junior knows this better than anybody. God forbid. God forbid the White Sox sweep the Cubs. God forbid. Junior knows how much of a jerk hole I can be. And I'm not saying it because I hate the Cubs. I really don't like the Cubs and their fan base. The Sox are playing good. I think the Cubs might be reeling a little bit because it's here's where you're going to find out about the mettle of the Cubs. Here's where you're going to find out. Okay, you had a great record. You had a great start to the season. And everyone was looking at you like, wow, they're in first place. But no one was looking at Milwaukee. And Milwaukee was literally right behind you, step for step. They went on a 10-game heater, 12-game heater, and you lost a couple. It happens. Everybody's going to go on 12-game win streaks, especially when you're in second place. They were winning, and you guys were still up, still winning. You're going to find out the mettle. What this team is made of on the north side. Because they can come back and I'm interested to see how they play this White Sox series. But I want to see what happens when they face the Brewers. I really want to see. Because now that's it. You don't have to worry about it. This is your competition for the division. I think you have 8 more times. 9 more times, something like that. Do you win 6 or 7 out of those 9? If you do, now you're cooking with gas. Now you're cooking with gas. And you go up a whole game, not even a half a game. You go up a whole game every win you get against those guys. So I hope they're not looking past the White Sox, getting to Milwaukee. All right, I hope they're not doing that. Because if you do that, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. You're going to be in for a rude awakening. Because the White Sox they're playing solid baseball. And that's the fun part about this. They're playing solid baseball. And I love it. This is what I was asking. This is what I was asking. I said, just give me some solid baseball. And the White Sox are doing that. I'm not asking you to be world beaters. I'm not asking you to sweep series. I'm not. I'm asking you to play good, solid baseball. I'm asking you to hit the cutoff man. I'm asking you to go first or third on singles. I'm asking you to move the runner over. Get him on, get him over, get him in. So the White Sox are playing inspired baseball right now. The Cubs got to get back to the fundamentals. And yes, they do need some pitching. The Cubs need to get back to the fundamentals. The Cubs can be fundamentally sound. They're fundamentally sound as well, but they've kind of strayed away from it. But you got to have that pitching. And I agree. I haven't heard King Tuck's name. Right now is where he needs to step up. King Booker, well, you're a damn fool. If the Sox win all 3, I'm making a White Sox love song. I'm going to release it on CD with the explicit advisory sticker. You're a damn fool, boy. The explicit advisory sticker. Remember you had to get your NWA CDs like that back in the day? Oh, man. Black Diamond says the Brewers beat up on bottom feeders and an overrated-ass Dodgers team. Okay, we'll see. Hey, if you come in and beat... Hey, we got it. I told you who the probables were for today's game. Adrian Hauser. Man, that dude's been a hell of a pickup. 5-2 with a 1.89 ERA. Going up against your guy Shota, who's 7-3 with a 2.40 ERA. It's a nice pitching matchup tonight. And they're wearing their throwback jerseys. I'm sorry, their City Connect jerseys, the Bulls looking jerseys. That's tight. So here you go. You get a chance to take on to beat up the White Sox. All right, here's your chance. But I'll tell you what, the White Sox they fight back now. The White Sox their nuts have dropped. Little bass got in their voice. All right, they little punks, little pushovers that they were last year. And that's from their manager. Big time manager. And I love it. We're gonna welcome my guy. He wants to say some stuff. My man, Jason Palmer. Jay, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I came on to say Feliz Cumpleaños to you.
Thanks, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
This the birthday, man, on a Friday in July on Cubs Sox weekend.
Yes.
I'm surprised you ain't drunk yet.
Who said this is water? Oh, no, that's the water. Who said this is water?
Oh, my God. I was like, Shawn is actually doing a show on his birthday weekend on Cubs Sox weekend, and Bears trainer camp is going on. I was like, let me check in to wish my buddy a very happy birthday, man. And I'm just so happy and so proud of you and Maya and everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago. And Lance and I we've been doing a lot of talking. You know, we've had to take an extended break because life started lifing. But we're talking about trying to get back here sometime in the fall. We miss everybody. We've kind of taken care of a lot of things that we needed to take care of in our personal lives. So that's kind of like our little birthday gift to you, to let you know we working on some stuff to kind of get back here, back on the horse, so to speak. But today is all about you, my friend. It is all about you. And, you know, the White Sox are hopefully going to give you a gift all weekend long. It's good for the city this weekend that we finally have a weekend series of this, because they've been giving us that
two-game bullshit in the middle of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
What kind of nonsense is that?
Well, and two
it'll
of
be
the 3 games, and 2 of the 3 games are at night.
Yes.
So you know what that means. There's gonna be a bunch of fights in the stands this weekend.
Well, stands. You got to get out of the parking lot first. We tailgating first, okay? Tailgating first. Instead of the stadium security, they better have the police riding around them golf carts.
Right, exactly. The poor CPD. They about to be put to work tonight and tomorrow night. They about to put some work in. It's gonna be a bunch of people down in that bullpen in them links, because these people, and you know, the Sox, you know, they playing well, so we trying to start putting on like, I don't think I wore my hat in about 2 years. So I mean, we started to get a little bit more confident, a little bit swag. And, you know, I think the thing that's really been exciting about the White Sox run here, Shawn, is just that they're scoring runs, like at a pace we hadn't seen them score runs in a long time.
Yeah, that was the fun part, is that they were doing it a lot of different ways. It wasn't all homer. There were some homers in there, but they were going gap to gap. And that's the thing you want to see. They were scoring small ball, 1 inning. They scored 2 runs, and the ball barely got out of the infield. You know what I mean? Like, they were scoring in a variety of ways, and that was exciting, because now you're saying, okay, this team might not be talent-wise, might not be one of the most talented teams in Major League Baseball, but they know how to get people on, get them over, and get them in, and that's the most important thing, being fundamentally sound. And that's, I think I said earlier, I think that's where they gained, that's where they gained a lot of their confidence, is being fundamentally sound. We can beat you a whole bunch of different ways. Well, you know, if you got an ace on the mound and he's mowing us down, no problem. We'll foul off. We'll get his pitch count up, get his ass out in the 7th inning, and then we'll go to work in the 7th inning. And they're comfortable doing it.
Right. And, you know, obviously, you know, they're not nearly a complete team, but you can at least see signs of life. You can see signs of progress. You can see signs of competence. Let's say that. Just signs of competent baseball. What the fans deserve. They're still a couple years away from competing, and they're gonna need some pitching. You definitely gonna need some bullpen help for the White Sox. But again, it's just something for everybody to finally say, you know what, I might watch these games. I might watch these games this weekend. And I gotta give the White Sox a lot of credit for doing whatever they needed to do to put these games on WCIU this weekend.
Yeah, that was smart. It was very smart of them to it made sense because now everybody can watch. And you talked about it, man. How fun is it? Because now there's shit to talk on both sides. Because the Cubs were at the beginning of the season, there was no shit talking from our part. We're like, you better not lose one game, Cubs, and that's how it was. Because we're gonna talk shit if we beat one. And now it's like it's different because you see the White Sox are competent. The Cubs were in first place for God knows how long, damn near the beginning of the whole season up until last week. All right, so they're a good team. It's just better for the city in the summer. All right, a lot of shit talking going back and forth. All right, just don't start doing stupid shit like shooting people and beating people up with bats and stuff.
Right.
They ain't paying our bills, so I don't know, crazy. They ain't paying my bills, so hey. But it's good. It's really fun when both baseball teams, are good. The Sox aren't even good yet, all right, but the Sox are competitive, and that's what's awesome. Someone said earlier that they're going to win more than 41 games. They're at 37.
Yeah.
37. They better win more than 41 games.
Well, and you know how you can tell that the fan base is starting to get excited. I'm checking the secondary market now, Shawn, and the cheapest seat for tonight's game is actually $92.
Whoa.
Exactly. Like we've been seeing tickets for $4 and $5.
That was my lick. Anytime they had a promotional giveaway, I'd buy a couple 500 level seats at like $5 and go in, boop, get my little bobblehead, come back out, go back in, boop, another $5. You know what I'm saying? That's only $15 for 3 bobbleheads. I'm good.
No, you going to the night's game, you're going to spend $92 and with taxes and fees over $100, and you're going to be in the 500 section. So, that's good. It's good for the economy. It's good for the economy. It's good for the restaurants. It's good for the bars. This is good. This is good that this series has the potential to be fun. It has the potential to be fun. Now, anything can happen. The Cubs could blow the White Sox off the field. The White Sox could blow the Cubs off the field. But, it's just good that this is a weekend series in July because, they've done this series in all sorts of crazy times, too. Last few years. So it's good that they're doing this in July on a warm weekend. The weather is going to be looking pretty good out there. I hope people who are going to the game go out there and have some fun, just like you said. But, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I had to come on, say happy birthday to my buddy and happy birthday to our buddy Ken Davis, too. Let's not forget Big Ken. Ken's birthday was yesterday.
That's right. He's coming on today. He'll be on right after. He's coming on at 10.
Excellent. Happy birthday to
Armando. Armando in the chat. It's his birthday. So he and
Armando's birthday is today too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also the birthday of the greatest football player to ever don a uniform,
Walter Payton.
Yep, it's his birthday as well. So I knew my birthday. I knew my birthday was shared with Walter Payton when I was like 10 years old. Do you remember the cups they used to have at like Amoco or Shell, and it was from the Bears football players, and they had you had to go in the little commemorative cups, and they had this was in the 70s, obviously late 70s, and or maybe and obviously he was one of them because he was a star, and they had their height, weight, birthday, where they were born, and I'll never forget my mom's pumping gas, and I'm in the car. She brought me a big thing of pop with a little commemorative thing because I love football. I was like, Mom, can you give me that? She said, sure. So I'm hyped up off the pop she's giving me, right? And I'm reading it, and I open the door, and she goes, boy, what are you doing? Close that door. I said, Ma, me and Walter Payton have the same birthday. She goes, go close that door. So that's how I knew that me and Walter Payton had the same birthday, late 70s or beginning of the 80s. When I had that cup, drinking some pop out of it.
Yeah. I do remember those cups now. I do remember those cups, man. But they used to do that with like all the Chicago sports teams,
Yeah.
And that was how we got to learn so much about the players, back in the day, especially if you had a baseball card collection to go along with it.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of people, and I know actually Dawn, P Rock, Rick, I know 3 other people who share the same birthday, so I feel good. Oh, and then I don't know if you saw, so we got this Sports Zone Chicago swag shops coming out probably next week. We got a shirt that I know a lot of people would like.
FGB. Oh Lord, yes, I definitely need one of them to wear up here in Wisconsin, and they probably wouldn't even have a clue of what I'm talking about.
Oh, they'll know. They'll be like, "Shut up." They'll be like, "You fib. You're just a fib." They call
what's up with them uniforms they created? They look like bad Illinois and Illini uniforms they came up with.
They're trying to go back to the way the Bears did. Remember the Bears went back to the old uniforms, and the orange stripes were, because those people don't know, when they ever said they had the old uniforms and the Bears had the 3 or 4 orange stripes. What those were straps on those old uniforms to connect the pants and to keep your jersey, everything down. Those were straps. So the old jerseys, that's what Green Bay is going back to is as their throwback of their City Connect jersey, so to speak. The Rush, I forgot something Rush.
It's the Rush, yeah. It's the Rush. It sure is called
jersey, yeah. So that's what they're doing this year. And they got the helmet spray paint or design like Notre Dame did last year with it looks like the leather helmet. So that's what they're going for.
Well, this is going to be very interesting because they're going to wear those uniforms when they play the Bears. You already know. At least one of the games when they play the Bears, that's when they're going to break that uniform out.
Yeah. And they're going to get their ass kicked in it too. All I got to say is FGB. That's all I got to say.
FGB. You got to be careful wearing that in Chicago, man. You got shot. Some people don't. What you talking about now? Is that a B?
They say FGD. I said FGB, not FGD.
So these people can't see too good, Shawn.
Some people can't read.
Right.
It looks like a D. That's another D. No, dumbass, it's B. You obviously didn't get through the Chicago public school system.
We don't need you on the police blotter. I did not want to read your name on the police blotter. Lord have mercy. Yeah, you make sure that B is standing out a little bit more, man, because gotta be safe in Chicago. Lord have mercy.
For real.
Yeah.
Great stuff, buddy. I definitely will be careful tonight. Have some fun. And I look forward to you guys coming back in the fall, man. I love your show, man. I do. I love it.
Yeah. We miss everybody. We're working on doing that, and I'll definitely holler at you before that Bears preseason game against the Dolphins. So that should be fun. All right. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy the weekend, man. Salute.
Thanks, Papa.
All right.
Guys, that's Jason Palmer. You got it here live. What's Up, Cuz are going to come back in the fall. Him and his cousin Lance are going to be back. Life's, man. It really does sometimes, and it gets in the way, and you got to handle it, and they're in a spot now where they're able to come back, and I look forward to it. Remember those guests, they had some A-list guests, boy. You talk about NBA players, and I would love to see Lance's freaking Rolodex. I would love to see it. And it's not even just him, because his brother Nick, Lance, you got Nick over at Arizona State with Bobby Hurley. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see the Rolodex of players that they have, not just immense Chicago basketball royalty. You know what I mean? That's insane. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans in them. All right, this is one of the guys, my man's in them, not just my guy, my man's in them. Oh, man, Ken Davis is going to join us. We're going to talk all things Bears because I'm fired up that camp is back, except for the daily stats. Caleb is 12 for 17, and he had 37 yards. Stop it, freak shows. But I am happy football's back. That I can tell you. We're going to talk some football with my man, Ken Davis, on the other side of the break, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings. I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Everybody in a work zone is someone somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Competition, I think, exists. Competition, I think, exists at all levels of our roster. That's going to bring out the best in all of our guys. Hard to say. I mean, of course, there's certain battles that we've already highlighted that might take precedence over the course of camp, but I think everything's open and really excited to see where that leads. Really, the next 6 weeks is about us coming together because it takes time to build that trust. It's hard to earn, and it's really easy to lose that trust. And so really those next 6 weeks are huge. And there's a lot of excitement around the program, and I think rightfully so. There's a lot of talent on the roster. Looking forward to see what leaders come out of the locker room and really lead the charge here for us going into the fall.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was new head coach Ben Johnson. OG Ben Johnson. All people who remember OG Bobby Johnson. Anyway, you heard what he had to say, and he's fired up. And my next guest, I'm excited to talk to him about it because someone wrote an article, and I thought I saved it, and I'll check it when I play his intro, about being careful about Ben being so hard on the players. What? I swear I wanted to kick him in his baby nuts, whoever wrote that article. But you know who my man coming up, the one, the only, the birthday boy. His birthday was yesterday. Ken Davis.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. but I don't know about that. As many times as we've loved and we've shared love and made love, it doesn't seem to me like it's enough. It's just not enough.
My man Ken Davis in the house. What's up, Baba?
Oh, look. What's up? Shout out to King Booker World. You a wild one with that one. I went, boy, back in the day, nah. I'm laughing, one, because of the article that you mentioned, Shawn, talking about worry about their fragility. When
Yes.
all we asked was for some accountability from the last two regimes, and now it's don't hurt their feelings when they're and I'm not being disrespectful, but at this point, record-wise, the players that have been here the longest in the Bears uniforms are technically on the field as Bears. They're kind of losers, and it's not totally their fault, because they've been set up to fail because they've been trying to fail so they can get better draft picks. This is something constructed from the front office. So this isn't you as a man as a loser. That's not what I'm saying. You were put in a situation where the team was not trying to succeed really until last year, but we knew last year they didn't build through the trenches. So that's more of a Ryan Poles situation to why, and Matt Eberflus, but when we know, and we've talked it on ever since me and you have been buddies, it's been trenches. This isn't just a Shawn and Ken thing. This is common sense football. You know, it's not even common sense football. It's common sense sports. In baseball, you're strong up in the middle. Back in the days, and now we're seeing it more in basketball, you need a big again. You know, now the big has to be versatile. It can't just be some plotting 7-footer. It needs to be a guy that's close to 7 foot that can handle the ball and it can get out on pick and rolls and things of that nature on defense. It's the same thing, but with the Bears, the most important thing for the Bears, of course, you want Caleb to be good. So that right now is one. But for me, and this is just my opinion, you want your head coach to be the guy that the whole NFL thinks he will be as a head coach. That's the most important thing here. The Poles thing, and Poles hasn't bought any type of equity, right? But, you know, people are even more upset at him, and I'm not saying some of it isn't deservingly so, but if he's gone, he's gone. He's not going to be gone. We know. We found out he was extended because usually people want to match up GM and the head coach, even though I think they could have waited and saw how the season went. Yeah. Thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody. But to say that to be light on them, dude, this is the time to be hard on them. All right. This is training camp. This is where we establish the rest of the season. So what? So you're saying this, and anybody that has, you don't have to have kids. You can be a teacher, you can be a parent, but also you can just be a mentor, or older cousin, or something like that. You want to get in at the beginning and try to instill something. You don't wait till it starts fucking up to start saying, oh, no, this is how we regulate and do things properly. You set the standard at the beginning so there, when there's slips, you can readjust and say, listen, this is what we said we weren't going to do. You don't wait till things start getting all over the field and start getting messed up. So, again, I know it's time. People need content. People need to write and get stuff out. And also, it could just be this person's opinion, but nah, dude, stop with all that.
I didn't save it, and I think I probably should have, but I probably on a slap, like, I ain't saving this stupid shit. And then I thought about it, I'm like, I should have saved it because I really need to talk about it, because obviously you never played sports, dude. Whoever wrote that article never played sports, and that, or doesn't have kids, because that or taught, because that's exactly what it is. I remember my sophomore English teacher, Mr. Kasicki, was a son of a gun, man. Like, you, God forbid, you like 2 seconds later, or you're halfway in the door as the bell's ringing, you're late.
Yep.
And he was a son of a gun. And 3 months into it, he gave us all standard. And it was so easy for you to ease up, as opposed to being easy and then tighten the screws. And
I got one for you. Bro. I got one for you. I have a teacher. I went to Our Lady of Peace, which is not Our Lady of Peace. It's grade school, right? But I had a teacher named Miss Ward that came from Holy Angels our 7th grade year. And Miss Ward sent the whole class except one boy to summer school because she was like, you guys are not where you need to be in English and math, because these are the main things, right? But the real thing was, she was a big math teacher, right? And I remember that I was in the lower math in 7th grade. You know how they would have like 2 tiers? And I wasn't on the top tier. Be like, man, I guess I'm just not that good at math. So what she did, and this is a training camp aspect, she made us learn algebra in a military type fashion where we had to recite the rules. So what ended up happening, in my head, I knew a negative times a negative was a positive. I still to this day know this because we had to. So then in 8th grade, we end up taking the test to see what level we were going to be at. And I wasn't there when we got the results. So when I got back to class, I had to go to computer. When I got back to class, they was like, yeah, Ken, you sit over there. I'm like, over there? I went to sit with the solar kids, right? It's like, no, Ken, you sit over there. I was like, please. It's like, no. And I waited till I was like, nah, they just trying to send me off. I'm not going to play me. And she was type of teacher, she would talk crazy, right? I was like, I'm going to go over there. She's going to be like, Davis, what the hell are you doing over there, right?
Get over with the slow kids.
Over there, right? So she told me to get up and go over there. And I remember sitting down like, damn, I'm over here. But then the class below us was like the good kids. We were the bad kids, right? So the 7th grade was like the view was good. But she would have competitions with us versus them, and we would have to run up to the board, and she would give us an algebraic problem, and we would have to solve it. And I was killing these kids, right? I was the best math student. This is because of her, though, right? Yeah. I went from being didn't know shit, basically, right? When it comes to algebra, to being the best at least by a boy. I think it was a girl. You could say maybe she was better than me, but I was waxing everybody, and it's because she trained us. She was a hard teacher, right? She loved us. She didn't play. Look, she would slap my thighs, and I mean, like, you know, you come back from the gym and you got your whole thigh out, and you're a big guy like me, so that thigh is that thigh sitting down is about that wide.
Yeah, it's just
right, like swap, like yow, right. But the point being, getting back to Ben Johnson and the Bears. Dog, this is when you bust you know what, and they've been asking for it. Like then the training camp stuff. I'll say this too. Let me go back to this. You mentioned earlier about the training camp stats. I'm not mad about it. I think the reason that Bears fans kind of don't want to hear it is because in some ways we feel like it's been indicative about what the outcome has been on the offensive side of the ball due to some of the inconsistencies. But with this being the beginning of camp, I think if this is like a month later, we need to be kind of worried about the beginning of the season with the offense. You know, about balls hitting the ground, right? But they're learning a new offense. Like this is a whole new install, right? Like, so there's going to be issues, particularly where you have a complex offensive-minded coach. The lucky thing is he's run-based compared to being some guy that's trying to just whiz you through the air where then there's no foundation. But there's going to be stuff like this, and you want to see him bust Caleb's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want to see him pull him off the field in the 7 because they not getting out of the huddle. Because you know why? Because they'll do that shit during the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to burn a timeout or we get a fucking penalty because like, dude, let's go. Like that's the whole thing that this is dude, let's go. All right. Because my name is on here, right? And I'm not trying to come out here looking bad. And you guys haven't looked good. So what you want to do? That's you getting back to everything we said about the mentorship. What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it all really comes down to. Do you want to maintain the level of inconsistency that you've been playing at, or do you want to raise the standard? Because the only way we can do that is through busting our ass.
I hope you went in there said, "Do you want to be the fucking laughing stock of the NFL?" You know what I mean? I hope he came at him like that. Do you still want to be the laughing stock of the whole league, the Chargers franchise, and you're the laughing stock? If you want to be there, then that's fine, but you can leave. All right, because I don't want it. I don't want that. And it's interesting how people, well, you know, you don't want to crush their confidence. They're grown ass men.
That part.
Making millions and millions of dollars. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. All right. And that's the whole thing is you love those. And Caleb is saying he's enjoying it. He says he's hard on me. He's, you know, he's very demanding. He's like, and I'm okay with it. Because great players want to be coached. Great players want to be coached. End of story. And if that means getting in your face and belittling you, he's not calling you, Caleb Williams, the person, as a piece of shit. He's saying you, Caleb Williams, the football player, is screwing up and get your act together. And he's able to differentiate that. And people who haven't played sports or been involved in things like that, they don't differentiate. Or he talks to me a certain way. No, he's not talking to you he's talking to you as a football player. And you as a football player, the thing you want to do is you want to respond. You want to coach if you want to be great, you want coach to pull out all your flaws. Because I'd rather you point out the flaws than the defensive coordinator point out all my flaws in week 1 and throughout the week. That's what I'd rather have, because now we're not winning any games and now there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I was really, really annoyed at that article, extremely annoyed at it. But like you said, people need content. And my dumb ass was one clickbait. I read it. I read just to say it was a stupid ass article, but I read it. But I'm excited. Talk to me about this. Talk to me about what you're excited most about. Are you excited more about the potential of Caleb? Or are you excited about I don't know. Let me not have you say which more. How excited are you about the run game with the new offensive line, the newly constructed offensive line? Okay, we still got the left tackle issue we got to deal with, but
dog, we guard to guard. We guard to guard now, Shawn. We got
Swift had 950 something yards last year with that shitty offensive line, and now we short up the middle. Give me your thoughts on how excited you are about this new offensive line.
I think it's a growing process, because I don't know if they have if Ben Johnson has, and this isn't a knock on DeAndre Swift, the running backs that he wants, because one, and I think it's going to be dope, but DeAndre Swift still technically isn't a between the tackles type runner. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really his forte, even though I'm sure they're going to use him in that manner. But when you're talking about guard to guard now, like when you have those guards in that center, and we know Jackson has to prove that he can get back to the level that he was playing at as a Lion before going to the Rams. But when you're talking about Tooney and Dahlman being the top 5 center in the league, I'm excited, because now you can control the clock and you can control the game, and you can football is about physicality. Like that, forget even football. Anything where someone is whooping on your ass long time is debilitating, right? For real. The sun on you, like if you got to be outside working in the heat or doing something, and it's like, damn, this sun just won't get off my ass. It's like that, like, so that's the run game, right? That's one thing we've always talked about here is, dog, offensive linemen want to shoot off the ball. Like, you don't want to backstep 24/7. I'm tired of being attacked. I want to get out there and I want to get out there and hit somebody and knock a dude down on the ground. I want all this that they've been giving me. I'm tired of these athletic edges jumping. No, I want to get to the second level and hit a linebacker or a defensive back and get some retribution because of what they've been doing. I think that's the biggest thing of anybody as a Bears fan that's always been wanting an offensive-minded head coach. I think part of the problem is, and I've always talked about this, offensive-minded people always feel like I have to show you my brilliance through the air. That's one reason, even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl, I still love Kyle Shanahan, right? To a degree, even when you think about Sean Payton with the Saints and think about what they did with Ingram and what was the kid up here from St. Rita that they had at the running back, St. Pierre. Just the like when you think about the Saints, you think about Drew Brees, but you forget they usually always had two tandem running backs that was getting the job done. Kyle Shanahan is like his father. Damn it. And look, they got one of the best running backs in a generation in Christian McCaffrey. But his dad, and I was a Terrell Davis guy. But after Terrell Davis got hurt, he would throw a damn dishwasher back there. He'd get 1,000 yards. Mike Shanahan in Denver because of that zone blocking scheme. So Mike Shanahan was one of the smartest offensive guys in his time in football. But you can't, like, one part of the problem with what Mike Martz did when he took over the greatest show on turf, he underutilized Marshall Faulk in the run game by just using him through the air. And the problem was they left too much damn time on the clock for the opposing team's offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they left their defense out on the field too long because they could score too fast, right? Like, you have to use your running game to take time off the clock. You have to use your running game to beat on the opposing team's defense and also set up plays in the future. Like, so that's why when you get to Ben Johnson, why it's great, because it doesn't feel like the old Bears trap where you have the offensive guy and I got to do all this through the air. Because, dog, sometimes that ball is just going to be hitting the ground. Sometimes there's going to be a miscommunication or it's just not going to be a connection. But that's different with the running game, because sooner or later, if we keep pounding this ball, dog, we're going to not either break one or we're going to get enough consistent yards to where we're going to be able to stay within this game. So for me, that's the biggest thing I'm excited about, because it's definitely based on what Caleb becomes. But you know that it's not based off of we just got to sit here and do it with tricks and schemes. And this is one of the best tricks and scheme coaches within the NFL, right? But I think some people take it to where that's the foundation of what Ben Johnson did is if you didn't really watch the Lions. But when you talk about what Montgomery and Gibbs were doing and how, and dog, Gibbs, and I know I've seen an interview with him on, I think, the NFL Network. They're splitting him out a lot this year to take advantage of him and his quickness. I mean, they're just scratching the surface with him. That to where I'm excited, because Ben Johnson knows the importance of the running game, and you're always going to have to run in football. So, and also another thing being the fact that while if there was an NBC Sports, I was a part of Big Ten Country with James Neveau. So I got into Big Ten sports and interviewed a lot of Big Ten coaches and stuff like that. And James was a huge Rutgers fan. Listen, Kyle Monangai is a beast. I don't know if it's going to transfer totally to the NFL. We have to wait and see. But man, he was the dog. They didn't have a quarterback. The year before last season, their quarterback was a running quarterback. But the point being that everyone knew in the second hardest, and there's only 2 conferences in college football, right? There's only 2, and they're like this now, whatever, with the additions to both of them. But you would view this as the bruising conference in the Big Ten. Everybody knew Kyle Monangai was the offense for Rutgers. And guess what? He still was busting ass, right? Like that. I mean, dude, that guy, and that's where when I talked about the personnel, and it may not, this may just be, he could be a guy that's good for a couple of years, or he could have a long career. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and blow bouquets, but I like the fact they picked him up because you have the bruiser that they're looking for in that backfield with that type of tandem. So I'm excited to see what the running game will give us. I'm excited to see what the defense, even though I know there's still going to be some limitations, because I don't know if they're going to be able to trick up another edge rusher. But also, I don't know. I'm to the point now, and I think I still would have made the trade. I got to see who Montez Sweat really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he has the ability. It's I don't know if it's the hunger, because the heart, like I don't know if it's that, because I mean, clearly if a blind man would have shifted the line on his ass, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chipping him. Who else am I going after, particularly after Billings got hurt, right? It was like, so I'm interested in seeing that. So, but I do like the addition of Dennis Allen. Like, that's the type of guy you want on the defensive side, let alone a guy that's been a head coach in the past. So I like the personnel. It makes sense. That's one thing. And I think sometimes being Bears fans, things that make sense can kind of be scary because we're used to having the rug pull from up under us. But I think this is one of the better foundations coaching wise that they've had. I think probably since I would probably say since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking of like Lovey, because I think we would say Lovey, but Lovey it was always an issue with the offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a glaring hole, regardless of the Lovey provided the best success that the Bears had since Ditka. But the problem of not having a consistent offense with one of the better defenses of a generation, a top 2 or 3 defense in a generation, that's a problem. And then I think it became a problem because Lovey didn't want to put somebody there that could perhaps take his job. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that became partially an issue or whatever. But having a guy in Ben Johnson who's better than Matt Nagy, we know there's no question about was Ben Johnson calling plays as the Lions offensive coordinator. we know that what Andy Reid was still doing when Matt Nagy was the offensive coordinator there. Look at the offense they had last year with Matt Nagy having more involvement. And I'm not sitting here and putting it all on him and acting like Andy Reid didn't have something to do with that, even though they made it to the Super Bowl. All right. But just still like this, if we're looking at pedigree, I think has a higher pedigree than what Matt Nagy had. Trestman, I never would have hired Trestman. So I think that the foundation of the coaching staff, I like Antoine Randall. I mean, if you're a Bears fan, Al Harris was one of those guys. He was a pest. You know what I'm saying? Like the league may have not known who Al Harris was, but we knew who the hell Al Harris was. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. It doesn't seem like usually, and sometimes I think we see it in politics. We drank the juice and then we play it up and we just like everything because we want it to be better. I think this is sounder. So they can still fall in their face, but it's sound. It's not like, I got this guy who never did anything. You know what I'm saying? He's out. No, it's the reasoning is a lot more sound in the guys that surround Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson also, again, full disclosure, I wanted Ben Johnson to be the Bears head coach for the last couple of years. Yeah. So I'm biased when it comes to Ben Johnson. I thought, and it's funny because I used to argue with a lot of media people that Ben Johnson wanted this job, and it was no, he doesn't, and I'm like, if this job makes sense because he's seen it, he's close by it or whatever, and this is a guy that had the pick of the litter, all right, as once Irv Gotti said about Lyor Cohen, the pick of the litter. He had to pick, he could pick any job, and so he saw something here. So I think, and I don't know, I'll end with this, Shawn, before you jump in. I don't know what this season's going to be. As a Bears fan, I want hope springs eternal. I don't know what this. I do think we're going to see progress. I don't know what the progress is going to be record-wise. I think the record should be better than last year, but that's varying degrees of what better could be. It could be more of the devil's in the details, where they record could be close, but kind of like the second half of like Lovey's first season, where you were like, hold up. They may, or even, even when Fangio took over as defensive coordinator, you remember like that defense was like a kind of a no-name defense or whatever. And the second half, the second half of that year, he was like, hold up.
Yeah, they clicked.
This dude is coaching it. This defense may be able to do this. This is before before Khalil Mack got there. Mm-hmm. Before Khalil Mack got there, you knew that this defense was scratching top 10, right? It was like this defense, and it's like, damn, he doing this with smoke and mirrors, basically, to a degree or whatever. So I think that could be part of what, when we come back towards the end of the year, and I hope, of course, I think that could be part of it. But I don't know record-wise, because this is a rough division. If you don't think it's the best in NFC, it's at least the second best. You know what I'm saying? So it's you gotta play those teams 6 times. So that's not going to be easy with going on even the rest of the schedule. But I like the foundation that they built so far, and I'm happy about the run game, and I'm interested to see what the defense does, because I think they have a really good defensive coordinator.
Well, Ben Johnson says a smart thing, and I'm really liking him. Every time I hear him speak, I'm really more and more enamored with him. The one thing he said was, "I'm going to lean on my people." Mm-hmm. What coach says that? You know what I mean? What coach says, I don't know everything, so I'm gonna rely on the people who do know more than I do? No one says that. They want to be the top dog. He's pragmatic about it. Like, that's why I got these guys. Mm-hmm. That's why I got Dennis Allen, 2-time head coach. All right, multiple-time defensive coordinator. That's why I got Eric sleeping with the enemy. All right, a guy who knows how to, when I need to bounce something off of him, I got a good offensive mind. Say, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? How about this?
Tough coach too. Don't bullshit.
He knows that he's going to get this message across to the running backs, which is why the running guys are going to get a lot more time than people think. And then Antoine Randall, another tough coach who's been there, who's been with him over in Detroit, and he knows how he coaches. So he's doing a lot of the smart things, and I loved when he said that. I love the fact that he took the first team off the other day because they weren't getting out of the huddle fast enough. I love it. I love it what he's doing. He's setting the tone. He's setting the pace. He's creating the culture, and this team is going to respond well. I agree with you. I don't know what the record's going to be, but I'll tell you what, the last 6 to 8 games of the season are going to look a hell of a lot different than the first 6 to 8 games of the season.
I'll say this too. It's nothing wrong with your coach being a nerd, but you want him to be a football guy. And that's the best part of Ben Johnson. He's a nerd. It's super intelligent, but also, I mean, a nerd where super creative, right? This isn't a coach that does it off of feeling. This is a coach that does it off of, oh, I saw what you guys do, and oh, I'm setting you up so I can do this in the fourth quarter, or when I see you guys.
Fun to have one of those guys? Ain't that gonna be?
So you want a nerd, but he's, to what you were just saying about coaching style, he's a football guy too, you know, and that's what you want. Like, again, it's not a dig at Trestman. I think Trestman was very intelligent and football intelligent, but I think it was a lack of connection sometimes. And this is men, right? This ain't just men. These are alpha men colliding 24/7, right? And you can see through bullshit quick. You could be a foreman working on a dock, and a guy come on that's never worked a forklift. You're going to see through bullshit quick. Same thing applies, but these guys get to smack each other legally and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for real, like that, there's a difference to that. You know, like, whereas, dude, this isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. That's exactly what I was kind of getting to. I was thinking exactly what I was thinking about earlier when I said it, Jason, was that Mike McDaniels, you know what I'm saying? And Mike McDaniels lost me early too. I won't get into why he lost me early. I was passing, but nobody said nothing racist around me. But that's a discussion for another day. But Mike McDaniels, but no, the thing with me is that where you see it, where Mike McDaniels is a smart football guy, but you see the lack of connection, particularly with the amount of money Miami has spent on players. Now, I know Tua has been injured, but when you think about trading and the moves they made to bring in players like Ramsey and the stuff that they tried to keep doing to get to where they hope to sniff a Super Bowl, and the foundation was never set. You know, like that's really the problem, because if the foundation is set, and I'm not saying that there's not outliers, but if the foundation is set, you can withstand certain things. You know what I'm saying? An injured quarterback is a huge issue. I will say that, but you can withstand things. And now you look at it, they're shredding payroll in Miami. So now a team that was gearing up for it all is like, we're not close. We got to pare down. And that's not where you want to end up. And we still have to see. But again, this is the beginning of the year, and every football team outside of two have some hope that this is going to be a better year or whatever. But I think the reasoning behind it with bringing in Ben Johnson is a lot more sound than sometimes in the past. But again, I am biased when it comes to Ben Johnson.
So I'm really looking forward to when they get the pads on. All right, because that's really when you can separate.
He said the reddest of red bones. I apologize. The reddest of red bones.
You know, you talked about Kamenon guy, and I called him Ashton Genty without speed. All right, I think the way his contact balance,
the bowling ball, exact. That's the bowling ball aspect. Good one.
He just ain't taking it 80.
No,
you know, he ain't taking it 80. You know,
right.
Ashton Genty will take it 80. This guy won't. But what this guy will do is he'll continue to give you body blows. And sometimes, you get a guy who takes 80. That's great. But when this guy gets you 6, 8, 10 yards, 6, 8, 10 yards, 3rd and 3, he gets 4. 3rd and 2, he gets 3. 3rd and 5, he gets 6. Those are debilitating. And especially if it's a run where he crunches some dude, or you get a good shot at him and he keeps his feet going and gets the first down, and everyone's like, "Why did you wrap up? Like I thought I had him. I did. It was a good lick." This is what I'm talking about. So I'm excited to see. And this dude is not afraid to put his face in there when it comes to pass pro. That's why his ass going to be out there a lot more than people think. And I'm excited about it. I'm really, really excited about that. Talk to me about Caleb's being under center and this run game. All right. I told people, I said, look, I said, watch. I said, don't worry about the deep throws. You know, he missed DeAndre Swift down the sideline the other day and whatever. I'm like, cool, fine, whatever.
Right.
I was like, watch the little things. I said, he's going to be under center. Watch the play fakes. Does he put the ball in the belly of the running back?
Mm-hmm.
I said, because if he does, you know, we're going to go for it on fourth down a lot more than we did in the past. Okay. And once you go for it on fourth down, linebackers are screwed because linebackers got to come down, especially if you run it on fourth down. Whether you make it or not, it doesn't matter. They know your proclivity is to run it on, or to get it on fourth down. So linebackers got to come down on fourth down because you don't want to be in that film room like, why aren't you filling that hole? Why'd you hesitate? I'm like, watch this, because if he does this, if he works on those, that gap between the linebacker, because they got to fill downhill quick, fast on short yardage, and the secondary opens up big time. And I know the windows aren't very huge in the NFL, but that's going to give you a lot more time, and that's going to open up those windows a little more for you for Caleb. And that's where Caleb can go crazy because he got all these yak monsters with Dunze and DJ Moore and Luther Burden when he finally gets his hamstring together, and Colston Loveland.
I was about to say, Colston, that's going to be the cheat code.
Yeah,
is that tight end underneath, like that, both of them, because if Colston Loveland starts cooking his rookie season, it's going to provide an open cold commit too when they're coming out of Twitter. because because if you think about it, let's just say Rome is good this year. DJ Moore is already a really good receiver, right? So now you're in a situation where pick your poison. Now, to get to the question you're asking, excuse me. I think the thing, getting to the running game aspect, and this is just simple complementary football. I'm not talking like some savant of X's and O's or whatever. I've said on here before, I've said in the past, anybody seen me on television, I wasn't, and I still ain't, but I got to give him man his props because he proved me wrong. You know, I wasn't the biggest what's the name, the quarterback over in Detroit.
Jared Goff.
Thank you. I wasn't the biggest Jared Goff guy, right? Jared Goff has proved me wrong. I think even with Ben Johnson gone, with him leaving, I think Jared Goff is going to prove that he's still one of the better quarterbacks within the league. And that took me a couple years to see that. Because I was saying, if you asked me 2 years ago, I've been like, wait till Ben Johnson leaves and we're going to find out. I think he still is going to be. I think there's going to be varying degrees, and I don't think it's all on him. I think because now you have a new guy learning how to be an offensive coordinator, or to learn how to offensive coordinate that team, I should say. But the reason I'm bringing it up is one of the things that Ben Johnson did that's going to help Caleb for what you're saying with putting that ball in the running back to sell was what you were saying. I feel like you were leaning on that.
Yeah,
where it may be a run, and linebackers have to come down, but also it could be play action, and that's what helped Jared Goff a lot.
Big time.
And when you're talking about that running game and the dangers, and you're talking about what Cal Monunga can do in short yardage, and guys having to key in on him, and now you're those windows. You said those windows are small in the league, but they're going to open up more because there's fear of the run game. Let's outside of the year, this is the biggest problem that we kind of had with Eberflus and Nagy. And Eberflus actually had, with Justin, one of the best running games in the league, because you had, at the time, the best running quarterback in the league, because Lamar Jackson was kind of dinged up the year before last with Justin or whatever. You know, like you had those years where Lamar Jackson was a little dinged up or whatever, right? So Justin was that guy when it came to running the football. And because Justin was that guy, it opened up running lanes for the running backs, and the Bears was leading the league in rushing or whatever. But there wasn't a consistency, and the run wasn't being used to open up the pass. They weren't. It's simpatico, right? So they were good, really good running the ball, but they didn't know how to use running the ball to make the game easier for Justin consistently. And I'm not still saying someone didn't follow on Justin, but there's a reason why we're talking running the ball. It's more than just you do it. You do it to help other aspects like the defense, like the clock, like the quarterback, like the passing game, which you were talking about with the linebackers coming down. That's what's going to really help when Caleb learns to play under center consistently, his game. Because one, we got to get Hollywood. I don't want to say Hollywood. We got to get Superman Caleb. We got to get Clark is what we need, to be honest with you.
Yes.
We need you to put the glasses on, because I don't need you to be Superman all the time. I need you like you can like blow the cold, like it's a fire across the street. You got the glasses on, and then something happens over here, and you cool the fire, so you still Superman. We don't need you to break out and run into the phone booth, right? We don't need you to do that. I need you to do that. So then, because you're not Batman, like you super dog. You don't have to do it all the time. You got power. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need you when some too big criminal is mugging somebody to jump out. I need you when Dark Side pop. Like you a real dude. You know what I'm saying? So like that. So getting to Justin, like Justin, this play action, I need you to be Clark with under center, selling the run game, selling that you can win under center. So then later on, when you were talking about not worrying about the deep ball, because the thing is, accuracy wasn't his problem in college, right? That wasn't his problem. It was too unscripted was the issue, because one, his offensive line sucked, but also he played well unscripted. And in a situation where you want to win, his best asset was what Lincoln Riley used. And it didn't benefit Caleb in the long run with his growth as what he will have to do in the league, but it still will be a benefit. But now it's learn under center. Now it's use your running game to set up play action. So then when you grow, and now we get to next year, and it's like, and you're going to see parts of it this year, but when you get to now, Caleb knows, Ben Johnson and Caleb see eye to eye what they're doing, basically. And now Caleb do that Superman shit, right? Like, because some games you're going to need him to do Superman shit, right? You're like, yo, go do that Superman shit, right? But you got to establish Clark before you just, like, Superman don't run around with his drawers on the outside all day. He actually has a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the point. I need you to work this job at the Daily Planet. You know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of, I hope he becomes like Jim McMahon. Remember, people forget Jim McMahon used to throw that ball all over the yard back at BYU. He set tons of college records. He came here, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. He turned around, handed it to the greatest running back of all time, in my opinion, Walter Payton. They had a phenomenal defense. And when necessary, Minnesota on a Thursday night. When necessary.
I hope he's way better, though. Than
I know what he I think, but
I get your point. For people that didn't, we got a lot of old heads in here, but for people that didn't know, one, BYU was a gunslinging school back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And he was and I mean, Steve Young's college basically, since his great granddaddy or uncle established was Brigham Young. But but still, the fact to your point was that he did it in college and then he got here, and you saw Jim McMahon turn it up when he had to turn it up, but the Bears didn't need him because the defense was outstanding. You had the most versatile running back to play football in Walter Payton. You know what I'm saying? Like you had offensive line that was crazy. Let's not forget that. Sometimes we don't talk about that offensive line a lot, right? Because of everything. That was a nice ass offensive line that the Bears had back then too. You know, so you want that to be what takes place. That was just such a perfect storm. You know, like when you really, I know because we're close to, if you were alive, and I was very young during the 85 year, but I was still sentient and loved football. I fell in love with football because of that team. People really still don't get, without the internet, how big that team was. You would think that, because that team was viral all the time. They were rock stars.
They went to London afterwards.
Right. They were rock stars, like it was the internet, basically. Like they all had podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
they all would have podcasts. You're damn right.
Yeah, they all would have podcasts. They will all have podcasts, right? And they would be big podcasts. It wouldn't be like just like, that's how
all
crazy.
All corporate sponsored.
Like the cultural impact that team had, you still see it by when you see Bears fans all around the world, it's because of that team. All right. Like, that's why you see, like, how are you a Bears fans? Because that team culturally was a lightning rod, but bringing it all the way back, because I think that team is just still, we give them a lot of props, but I think we do it because we're close to it. But if we backed away, it would actually seem even crazier what they put together with that roster. But yeah, I still think that what he's doing with Caleb is going to benefit Caleb. And I look forward to it, because I say this too, before I end on that subject. Caleb is one of the main reasons he chose to be here. Now, I hope Ben Johnson can get the best out of Caleb. But Caleb is the most important right now. But me being someone who I really wanted Ben Johnson is the most important thing to me, because I believe he can become a great coach. And a great coach, man, if you got one of the better coaches in it, you see it all the time in the NFL. If you have one of the best coaches, dog, you can withstand everything. A great quarterback too. Let me not take that. I'm not taking away from that, right? But man, a great coach can do so in the years where you don't expect to be shit. A great coach can make your team a good team. And just the culture, like the biggest thing that the Bears have lacked since Lovey's team is culture. And that, like, when you go back to the 85 Bears, that Lovey team was the first time for me. And when I ask players, I'll give Lovey's Bears props. They could really be like, yo, because I know partially they like, yo, look at our numbers. We was up there with that defense, right? And when you talk about eras, because that Lovey team was built also to play against the pass when you're talking about the cover two. You know what I'm saying? And we all know with the 46, the problem was if you spread their ass out, this ain't a 46. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the real Dan Marino shit trips with Duper Clay. You know, like, oh, we spreading it. You guys are playing back. Sorry. But the thing still I'm getting to at that point, when I used to talk to some of those players on Lovey's teams, and I'd be like, you guys were the first players to me that actually cared about being Bears. Because for a generation, it was kind of like, I don't give a fuck about being a Bear, right? Mm-hmm. And you saw how mostly they all retired. They may have played a year after or whatever, but if they left, it was like, no, I'm a Bear, because they established something culturally. You know what I'm saying? They that locker room you're talking about, Olin Kreutz, Lack, Brigg, Peanut, they established something. And they held themselves to a standard. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's been missing since Lovey was the head coach. And I'm not a person that's like Lovey should have stayed. I think it was time for Lovey to go. They just didn't replace him with anybody that was really good. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the real thing. It was time at that point, because you're talking about playoff victories matter, and getting to the playoffs consistently matters, right? But I think if Ben Johnson, because we still have to see that, and Ben Johnson hasn't been a head coach before, so even though I'm a Ben Johnson fan, I'm not gonna lie to y'all on here. We have to see, can he establish a culture? I think perhaps he can. If he can establish a culture with his coaching acumen, I think it could benefit a team or a franchise that's always been snake bitten. Like, the Bears need a culture reset. Right, like it's something that
one since Lovey, and you hadn't had one since Ditka before that,
right? And it's something that permeates. Like, this is what we are, like, period. This is it, like, regardless. And you definitely, if you like a Steelers fan, you want more success in the playoffs from Mike Tomlin, but they still have a culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that culture is why they never had a losing record under him. Like, there's a culture and a standard. And that's what you hope is going to take place, but you still have to see it, because again, I can't lie and say, well, I know Ben Johnson's going to establish a culture, because that's Dan Campbell, and give Dan Campbell his props for what he did in Detroit. It all wasn't Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell had a big part in it, but it'll be interesting to see, can Ben Johnson, after studying and staying an extra year, let's also remember, I wonder if he would have stayed an extra year if Eberflus would have been let go a year earlier, or the season in the offseason before. But that's really what I'll be interested in seeing. Shawn, is you asked me earlier, what am I interested in? I'm interested in seeing, because I think that's what the beginning of this conversation really was, when you were kind of saying about getting on the players, and then I alluded to it, that establishes what happens later on when you're riding on them early. I'm interested in seeing, can they build a culture? You know, like now it's a lot. And let me just finish this. You see, with Byard talking about he wants to be a player here when they turn it around, and I take it with a grain of salt because he's on the last year of his contract. I bet you do want to, because you want another. And I'm being honest. I'm being an ass, but I'm being honest too, right? Of course, you want another contract. Being an older player, you want another contract. I do think so. I would too. Look, I would too. I'm not saying it like and you don't want to move, right? So you live in Chicago, dog. It's a lot of suck ass places to live in America, right? Like, I mean, this is one of the better places to live in America. But the point being is, you want to see if they can set a culture, and that's what I'm interested in, Shawn. Will Ben Johnson be able to set a culture? Because that can go a long way in making sure that they're consistently a team that's threatening to do something in the playoffs.
So one of the things I think, and I said, the reason they did fire is they wanted Ben Johnson. And I think Ben Johnson wanted here. And I think that they were, you can have affiliates, right?
Of course.
Back
channels.
Yeah. And when they found out that the affiliates, through the affiliates, that Ben Johnson wanted to stay to finish some, to go after some unfinished business,
right?
Bears probably said, you know what?
You're right.
You can't fire this guy. Hire a new staff. And then Ricky Renteria, this new staff.
That part right there.
Because that'd have been, you know what I mean? So I think that
if you gave me Ricky, I would, boy, Ricky, you could have stayed a little longer. You know what? Even though
I think that's why he stayed. That's why the Eberflus stayed that extra year. It's just because they knew Ben Johnson was going to be there one more year, and like, okay, well, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with the flack, whatever. And if he does well, cool. All right, we can still fire him, but it'd be more difficult. But whatever. Before we let you go, I want to just talk about a couple people over the weekend that passed away. Warner. Theo Huxtable was his most famous character. Ozzy Osbourne, the Hulkster. I know a lot of people were getting mad at the Hulkster because his recently.
Let's talk about Theo. Malcolm Jamal Warner. That's something, because you're talking about a lot being placed on somebody. And it's funny because I've been seeing clips of that show that he had on NBC right after the Cosby Show. And I remember as a kid thinking like, no, it was like hanging out or something. He was like a rec. He was like a rec teacher. He was in charge of a rec center or whatever, right? I saw clips with Omar Epps and his little brother, and I remember watching it, right? But I remember like the subject matter, it was heavy, and it wasn't funny enough to offset the subject matter. And also him being Theo, you were looking for something Cosby-esque, and as a kid, I was like, I don't think this is going to necessarily work. But the reason I'm saying it was he always had a lot on him, because he's like, and nobody said this, but he's like, he was Bill Cosby's chosen one. So it always seemed like a lot of pressure. And I feel like he always managed it well. And I would watch some of his podcasts, clips from his podcast, and I enjoyed the content and what they were getting after. It was some really good topics. Ozzy Osbourne, I mean, one of the best voices in heavy metal. It's Black Sabbath, and I'm not saying it's like I'm the big. I definitely like some rock and roll, right? Because we created it. No, but I definitely like some rock and roll. But you listen to that Black Sabbath and to see them dump his ass. And I remember being younger and hearing the story about him and Sharon, and Sharon's dad was Black Sabbath's manager and was like, "You can have him," and she clinked this dude up, and they became uber rich. Like, that's also a shout out to having a good woman. What she did to put him to being a god in heavy metal, right? The god in heavy metal. Rock and roll, he's a god, but in heavy metal, it's a whole nother level of where he is in heavy metal, right? But also the fact that they were the beginning of reality TV. Like that when you talk about today, what's the culture is, they were at the forefront. You know, them, Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson, you know, and Basketball Wives. I don't think Basketball Wives isn't even out yet, but these are the shows that this was when reality. He was like, wait, you can make money, dude. Like it made his kids stars. Like his daughter.
The Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton one too. This is a good.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Those shows started where it altered our culture. Like and we see it to this day. It altered our culture. I mean, I'm not one to duck smoke. I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan as a kid. Like Hulk Hogan was wrestling to me. I don't want to speak ill of the dead because I feel like I was raised better than that. But I ain't got nothing good to say about Hulk Hogan. Like it just gets to a point. No, I'm just being honest. It gets to a point where it's just like, you know what, fuck you, right? Like, you know, fairness. It's not.
Less. Fuck you.
It just gets to a point. It just gets to a because it's different. I'll say this just to be honest. It's different to be like, yo, I said some foul shit and I was fucked up how I was thinking. There's a difference between that and it being like, nah, that's who the fuck I am. Right, like those are two drastically. Someone doing some fucked up shit is different from I'm just this motherfucker. So it's one of, but it was like I actually was in a text thread because my friends know, like I was like they used to make fun of me, like, man, kid, you love you some Hulk Hogan, and I had to just leave it alone at one point where I was just like, you know what. just like with like I'm a big Jim Brown fan. Now I'd be like, yo, if Jim Brown did anything wrong, it was CTE. Like I would make up a story, right? CTE. You talking back in the day, CTE, right? Trying to help the lady down off of the balcony. It's just CTE. But it's just that, and then, again, what I did, I'll finish with this. I removed the text that I was going to send because I was like, you know what? I don't need to say nothing bad about nobody. Like, in all fairness, you know what I'm saying? Like. I'm sure it's terrible for his family. It's terrible for people who don't care. I get some people don't care about my feelings about it. And that's fine. Look, it's fucked up, but that's fine. I get that. But as a wrestler, he was the biggest thing that could happen to wrestling, right? I couldn't wait for a Saturday night main event to come on.
Man, who you telling, bro?
No, you didn't know. I didn't know. It would just, I'd be waiting for Saturday Night Live to come on. And then it'd be like, no, it's WWF. And I'd be like, oh, it's the main event tonight, right? Like, it was huge. I went to the show to see what was the Zeus with Zeus in it? The No Holds Bars. Dog, that's it. I'll end on a good positive note for you to make it balanced. I'll end on that note. I couldn't wait. Me and my buddy Rashad got out of school early. And went to go see, and then I think we snuck in to see See No Evil, Hear No Evil with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder right after watching that. I'll leave on that.
And for me, it just took you back. It took you back to a time, and I know he kind of showed his true colors at the end. But I agree with you. Like the kid, you know,
it wasn't the end. It was a long. It was a long period of time. It wasn't like last year he jumped out racing.
Well, it's still the end, but it was a lot longer than we wanted.
Right.
But it just took me back to times growing up and, you know, watching wrestling and going to wrestling. We would always go to we went to the International Amphitheater. Then we went to the UIC Pavilion. Then we went to Horizon, the Rosemont Horizon. Like we would go to all those every month and stuff and things like that. So it was really, you know, it for what he became.
It was huge. No, to me, I'll take everything out. If we're talking about my Mount Rushmore of wrestling, for me, because also like I didn't see the wrestlers in the 70s. So we knew wrestlers in the 70s because they were still, you know, Dusty Rhodes and, you know, like the George the Animal Steel, like you knew them, but you didn't see them at their prime.
Yeah.
But for me, like having him and Roddy Piper, you know, like that was what's the king? What was the dude?
Jerry Lawler?
No, the bald dude that he fought in WrestleMania.
Iron Sheik?
No, the bald guy that it was like his first kid he beat him guy. You know what I'm saying? I forget what the dude's name was.
King Kong Bundy.
King Kong Bundy, right? But it'd be again, my Mount Rushmore would definitely have him and The Rock. I would say this is a joke. I was much more into roided up wrestlers. So like listen. Shout out
Warriors.
Shout out to the technical wrestlers. I know Bret the Hart. I know Bret is one of those great wrestlers, but I like when the 1, 2, 3 Kid and like it was like I like my Shawn Michaels on a tag team. I don't like a solo roundhouse.
Yeah.
I like my guys full of football. I like my guys looking like football guys. Right? I like it to be a fantasy. I guess that's the thing. I like my wrestling to seem like a fantasy, but I came back to wrestling because of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then that led me into The Rock and that Triple H era. That was the last time I was into it because I kind of went away from it. Because for me, I've been a sport. Dog, we spend a lot of time watching sports, and for anybody that loves wrestling, still, I'm not dissing it. I just don't. I had to let something go to fit some other shit in. You know, right? Like that's just how it went.
Hey Ken, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
That Davis. Everybody, thanks for the birthday wishes. This weekend, everybody, please be safe. Shawn, I appreciate you, man. Shout out to you and your moms. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you all too. It's always a great time coming on here talking shit. And Buka, you are, I mean, in the positive sense, you need to take this shit on the road. But shout out to the Lara family. I love y'all and everybody in the chat. Shawn, everybody. If I didn't say your name, they blame it on my head and not my heart. But I'll see you guys in a month and a half when Shawn asked me to come back, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Good stuff, buddy. Hey, we still got to get to a Sox game, especially since they're playing better.
Actually, we may not be able to do. We got to do it in September. We got to take a Milwaukee trip to hang out with Jason too. We got to go. He got to come from Kenosha. We got to have another Milwaukee.
Take him up on the way.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to have another Milwaukee trip. Maybe go see a Bucks game or something. But that'll be later. But we got to have a Milwaukee trip. But we got to do a Sox game. I'll see you then, Shawn. But I appreciate you, man. Be safe.
All right, man. Thanks. Guys, that's Ken Davis. Guys, we got to run. I got to go pick up the warden. Have a phenomenal day. All right. Let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. Guys, have an awesome, awesome day. Cubs Sox today, starting at 6:40 tonight. All right. Legion of Doom. And just so you know, Sports Zone Chicago swag shop is going to be open in about a week or so once they get everything set up. But I did want to show, we'll have this show and then wait till Monday. You'll see I'll have another design, another shirt that you can get as well. And then I have a lot more designs coming, and I'll start wearing those things as well. So I sit tight. I know Rick was fired up, and I thought of you, Rick. I knew you love this one. I got some other ones that are really dope, and you'll see them, in the next week or two. All right. So for the weekend, your boy is out.